Hi, welcome to AFTV. I've got Turkish with me after a 3-0 win against Real Madrid in the Champions League first leg quarterfinals. Turkish, you're the man I actually want to speak to because I've had moments, working here actually, funny enough, that have just hit me in times like when you after the Community Shield we won, you bigged me up for the work I've done at AFTV, held a place in my heart from you, and I really appreciate that. Another big moment for me and you was Tottenham away. You coming out, you see your smile, your eyes. You were saying I was singing Eddie, and that I just said, wow, this is the real happiness. Today, Rice scored that free kick. That same look when you walked out of that stadium at Tottenham away.
Gets like that, bro. Gets like that, bro.
That happiness. I mean, you ended that with that fan cam saying you used to pray for times like this. 3-0.
Yeah. Bro, wow. Wow, bro. Come on, man. Like, on one thing I predicted a 2-1 loss, on another I got swayed to predict 2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where the chips looked down, but look at what we did. Look at what we produced. And it just makes you think, what if? But forget the what ifs now, because we're essentially into a Champions League semi-final at the expense of Real Madrid.
Are you moving too fast?
Listen, Real Madrid they are Real, they have the heritage, and 3-0 is probably on the cusp of something they can do. But the reality is, tonight the job was pretty much done. It was pretty much done. And listen, I'm going full circle from thinking we've got 20% chance to go through to now Real probably having a 10% chance to turn it around. Declan Rice. Bro, you see when I tell over the years we get drawn into, is he world class? Is that person world class? Because opposition fans, they'll always have their say, especially when it comes to Arsenal. We're a massive club, but we haven't, done what massive clubs should be doing in winning the major trophies. But these are the moments where great players are made. All eyes was on Saka because he's returning from injury. He's our best attacker. Declan Rice has kind of gone under the radar going into this game because he has had a decent season, but this first season he had was so good that this season pales in comparison. But you see, this night will live long in his memory, his family's memory, our memory. You're wearing this shirt not because we won the Champions League that year, because that moment that came from
that performance,
Henry, Bernabeu, goal, long sleeves, captain's armband. Declan Rice today, he done essentially what Henry did there. He took this game in the moment that he had, and look at how he took it. That free kick. We ain't scored a free kick since Burnley in 2021, I think it was. Yeah. But tonight too, I can't even pick which free kick's better. But you see Declan Rice, there ain't no more conversations no more. There ain't no one gonna be asked, is he world class?
No, they'll say Caicedo, Enzo. They'll say them, man. They'll say a plethora of ones that they try and put him up against.
The disrespect to Declan Rice only comes from people saying he can't do what we know he isn't there to be doing. Declan Rice is the best destroyer in football. This season, he's added set pieces to his game, not only corners, as you can see today. Declan Rice is world class. And these are the moments you need for the conversation to die down. And when the conversation's died down, you are in that bracket. And there ain't no more conversation with Declan Rice now. This is Real Madrid in a Champions League quarter-final. It's 0-0. You're not a known free kick taker, but there's a gap in the market. We ain't got one. So what do, Declan? You take it, you step up, you tell everyone to move out the way, it's me. And you bury it. And what do you do for the next one? Same thing.
That's what's messed.
Same thing. No, I've scored one, you do this one, Odegaard. No, I've scored one, bounce. I'm doing it again. Done it again. Legendary moments. I've always known why West Ham fans love Rice. It's not because of the goals or it's not because of the assists. It's because of the character.
Yes.
And we've got a fucking gem on our hands in midfield there. Arteta finished the puzzle. Just finish the puzzle, Arsenal, because we're so close to completing it. But it's not about finishing the puzzle now. It's about enjoying the moment tonight. It's about moving on to the Bernabeu and enjoying another moment over there. We'll be there.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Oh, my God.
I can't wait. I mean, Merino,
we're going to go through the players. I love that you keep stopping yourself from going back to, we should have, in January, or the strike situation. I love that you're saying, forget that. because it's not about that today. Yes, we'll discuss that going forward. But what they just achieved tonight, that Arsenal side, is incredible. I have to do my role and do the other side. There will be fans saying, now in the comments, maybe tomorrow, slow down, Turkish. He hasn't won anything yet. It's 2 free kicks. Slow down. But you can counter that if you want by saying, like you mentioned, it's Real Madrid. If you look at that midfield that he played against, and you ask who was the standout in that midfield, Declan Rice, and those players that were in that midfield aren't chumps in Real Madrid.
No,
there's not. So what you've mentioned there about Declan Rice, because I know fans will say, "Whoa, slow down," but there's a midfield there: Jude Bellingham, Camavinga, and Modric. Some will say maybe old Modric, but that's a good midfield, and Rice bossed it. Destroyer, unbelievable. We've watched the free kick over and over, and I can't not stop watching it. It's incredible. Another player. Let's talk, because I know you keep cutting yourself about about the striker situation, but Mikel Merino, who Robbie, to be fair to him, says give him credit. Has been scoring. I haven't really bought it. I haven't. I still think, brother, allow all that. He's not a striker. But let's talk on him, because that finish.
Beautiful, bro. Bro, tonight was perfect.
Bro, it's like you're looking at the best food you've ever seen. The way you're talking.
Tonight's perfect, bro. This is more of what I want. And listen, especially for young fans, you know that moment there is probably the greatest certain generations have seen for Arsenal.
Well, one of the young fans today said this is the biggest game she's ever seen. I said,
there you go.
I said, what?
There you go. So I get that side of things, and people might look at me and say negative, or people might, is he never happy? Because I've seen this club not only do that, but achieve, get over the line. Not in this competition.
No.
And if we were to do it in this competition this season,
I can't imagine what you'll be like.
Who gives a shit what happened the rest of the season? That's what it is. Who gives a shit if you can cap it off with one of these? I won't call it, what it is, because we ain't got it yet. With one of these. So I'll put it at the TV. You know what I'm talking about. Bro, it's special. Merino finish. As much as Robbie said it, I've said it as well. He deserved his spot, because the moments he gets, he has produced. Maybe not a 90-minute performance up front, but he's produced in the moments he's had. And he didn't have an abundance of moments to capitalise off in that game. But the one he did have, Lewis-Skelly into him, body on the half turn, swivel, a bit of salsa in the hips, or whatever dance they do over there, and he buried it bottom corner, bro. I don't think any of the strikers we have could do that. So credit to him, beautiful finish, because 2-0 was great, but 3-0 gives me the confidence that it is done and dusted.
So whitewash, and funny enough, for playing Real Madrid, a whitewash against Real Madrid is incredible, and we're gonna dine, we're gonna feast on this. I want to get you. You said something mad in the stream.
Yeah. Bruv, I'm going back to Rice.
No,
because tonight, the conversation dies, bro. Do you know how much we hear about Real's midfield and their quality?
No, I know.
Across the board. Modric, he's old, but he's a legend of the game. Valverde, cool fullback, but he comes in a lot. Yeah. Camavinga, okay, he hasn't had the game time, you'd think he would have had by now, but he's a baller. Bellingham, we know what he's about. But who's the star of the show? Declan Rice.
And I think that's a credit in itself. And like I said, we're going to dine on this. You said something mad on the street. We're going to win it.
I did say, I don't know if I said that.
Let me tell you this. You definitely said that.
Was it a question?
No.
I think it was a question.
You lost. You were celebrating.
No, but listen, tonight, mad. Real Madrid, historically the greatest side in this competition. You look just ahead, PSG or Villa. I'd be semi-confident against either of those sides. And then obviously the final, you're probably looking at an Inter Milan or a Barcelona. Yeah. That's where it becomes a bit more of a tricky one. But bro, what we've just done tonight, I'm gonna soak it up. We're gonna go to Madrid, soak that up too. See where we're at after that. We can enjoy PSG Aston Villa tomorrow. Yeah. Feet up. Who we playing next round? Imagine that 2 days ago. Imagine someone said on Wednesday, Turkish, you're going to have your feet up and you're just going to be watching PSG Villa thinking, who are we going to play? I'd be like, fuck off.
That is crazy. And it's funny because you're going to like PSV when we were in 7-1. Fans are booking the tickets for the next game for Real Madrid because it's going to be in Madrid. Now we're looking at, who's next? But it's still, it's Real Madrid at Bernabeu. Stranger things can happen. I can't let you leave before asking you about Lewis-Skelly before you go, because you're one that's championed the young boy from the get-go. I remember saying Calafiori has to go in. You said, no, Lewis-Skelly. He's risen to this. He's ready for this.
Yeah.
Listen, I think he's grown into this position. Yes, there's been few, I wouldn't say naive moments. I think things have just not gone his way. But today's performance, we're playing against Real Madrid, and for me, Rice just stole he'll get the headlines. But Timber and Mars Lewis-Skelly, and I want to hone in on him because young boy, 18, your thoughts on what he must be feeling and what he did today.
Again, the internet likes to talk.
Yeah, he got hate, he's got a load of...
Lewis-Skelly hasn't had one moment this season I've looked at him in sadness, disappointment, frustration or anger. Not one moment. Yes, he's had a red card, and yes, he gave away a penalty. Unfortunate circumstances, probably harsh. Red card, jolting. Overall, an immaculate debut season for Arsenal. He's come, taken that position. Not only done that, gone over international duty, debut for England, scores. What does he do tonight in his biggest game for club? Assist, clean sheet against Vinny, Mbappe, Rodrigo, Bellingham. Lewis-Skelly is
crazy.
fucking. You see Lewis-Skelly's emergence. It's going under the radar because he's a midfielder playing as a fullback. He's not getting the plaudits one would get if this sort of an integration was made in the attacking front.
But that should make it be shouting louder. You're playing out of position.
Let him go under the radar because you see that boy, he's going to be a baller. He's got the character for it. He's got the attributes for it. He's got the mentality for it. We've seen that alone this season. He had 20, 25 games, but those games have included an international for England with a new manager. Those games have included a Champions League where you've got to slot in emergency. Those games have included a Champions League quarter-final against Real Madrid. You know, he's played at pretty much every level from club to international football that you can play, all in his debut season. And not only played it, but played it to a point where more often than not, you're looking at him as one of the top 5 players on the pitch for both sides. Lewis-Skelly's he's a beast. He's going to be an absolute star for us. Hopefully, he starts here and hopefully he ends here.
Turkish, I've kept you for long enough.
Love for the love.
Love for the love.